Today we're going to do an easy to paint Necron. So first off, silver. We start with lead belcher first, which is a colour which covers the entire miniature. Next we're using iron breaker. I'm using an old brush where the bristles are spread out, and I've removed most of the paint. So as you can see, look, there's not a huge amount there. And going over it nice and fast like this, and it will pick out edges. As you can see, it's a very fast process. One of the benefits of painting it like this is, one, it will catch the edges, but two, certain areas where there's some depth which you can't easily get to this method will therefore create shade. So inside the chest there, because there's the weapon there, that will stay dark. Or the inside here will stay dark. Even if you're not too fussy on how much work you do on the inside of the leg here, that will also stay dark. Next, you want to make sure that all the water, after you've cleaned it, all the water is out of your brush. So go over your hand a few times just to make sure you can't see any water. So the next colour is going to be Rune Fang. And again, if I put it over my hand, there's a bit there, but you're not seeing a huge amount. So again, go over it nice and quick. We're starting to get a nice shine to the robot now. Next, using Necron compound. This is a very easy way to paint Necrons. It's very fast. In fact, you're painting a Necron in about 5 to 10 minutes. At this point, it's taken about 5 to 10 minutes to get this finished. The main things to remember: you want a very small amount of paint on your brush. You want to hold your brush right at the end, which helps you to get that fast speed going. And when you're going for the process of one layer to the next, make sure you, after you've cleaned your brush, you get all the water out of your brush before applying the next lot of paint. You could now, if you wanted to, apply null oil, and by applying that, it will make it dark in the recesses, but it's also going to make the entire miniature darker. So if you want the standard look of a Necron, I would just leave it like that myself. Makes it nice and bright and very easy to paint an entire army. This time we're going to do an easy rust on our Necron. I want a little bit of weathering powder, and I'm going to add some water to this. Now you can add terps to it if you want to, but basically the end result would be the same. You turn it into a liquid at the moment and you'll apply it, but once it dries out it basically ends up being the powder again. But the liquid means you can apply it, whereas the powder it doesn't really apply too well. Not for what we want to do anyway. And now we've got it turned into a liquid. We just put it around all the joints, and we don't have to be neat. In fact, being a little bit messy might even help for what we're going to do later on. You don't have to cover every joint. If you want to leave some of the joints alone, untouched, that's fine as well. Once you've finished applying this coat, you want to leave it for a while, give it time to dry. Now the rust's had time to dry, we can start wiping some of the rust away with one of these. And as we're wiping it away, what can happen is it will end up spreading out onto some of the other areas. So you can get a slight bit of build up there. But it will also, in the process, create a bit of tarnish on those areas which previously you didn't actually apply any of the rust on. Because this can obviously can't get into the deep recesses like a paintbrush could, it will definitely leave rust in the deeper areas. So this is a very easy way to paint rust in the recesses, especially if you're somebody who's not particularly good at painting, and yet you can still leave a decent effect. Now I'm going to do the same again, only where last time it was more of a brown weathering powder, this time it's more of a orangey. So this should add a different texture of colour. I wouldn't try and put this in all of the places. I wouldn't put it in as many places as you did the previous colour. You're just doing it so you end up with a different texture of rust, as opposed to the rust looking all the same colour all over. Again, I went over it on the areas, just cleaning the excess weathering powder off. And this is, like I said, it's a very easy way to give them a bit of a rustic look. For the weapon parts, I want to give it a orangey look. I've decided I'm going to start with this yellow first. I'm obviously going to cover this tube and the pieces in here. And now to tone down the yellow areas, I'm using this colour. I'm not just trying to catch the pipe there, I'm trying to catch the bottom of this here as well, and all the other areas where I had the yellow. Again, this is a very simple way of painting your Necrons. However, I think it stands out quite a bit.